When is Christmas? Christmas is generally known as the birthday of Jesus. The world celebrates this day either on December 24th or December 25th in the USA, for example. But is this day really Jesus' birth? What does the Bible say about it? The Bible, along with historiography, gives several points that point directly to the birth of Jesus. These include the following. Zechariah of the division of Abia served as a priest. There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zacharias of the course of Abia, and his wife was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. Luke 1:5. And Shemaiah, the son of Nathaniel, the scribe, one of the Levites, wrote them before the king and the princes, and Zadok the priest, and Ahimelech the son of Abiathar, and before the chief of the fathers of the priests and Levites, one principal household being taken for Eleazar, and one taken for Itamar. 1 Chronicles 24:6. The 7 to Hazok, the 8 to Abia. 1 Chronicles 24:10. There were a total of 24 divisions of the priest, and 23 to Deliah, the 24 to Matzia. 1 Chronicles 24:18. That is, each division served 15 days, 360 days a year, divided through 24 divisions makes 15 days per division. Then he goes home and his wife becomes pregnant. And it came to pass that as soon as the days of his ministration were accomplished, he departed to his own house. And after those days his wife Elizabeth conceived, and hid herself 5 months, saying, Luke 1:23-24. 6 months later Mary becomes pregnant, and in the 6 months the angel Gabriel was sent from God unto a city of Galilee named Nazareth, to a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary. And the angel came in unto her and said, Hail, thou that art highly favored, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. And when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and cast in her mind what manner of salutations this would be. And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with God, and behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb, and bring forth a son, and shalt call his name Jesus. Luke 1:26-31. This results in the following overview. Beginning of the year at the earliest is after the equinox, and when first barley is found, it's about March 21st. Start of the service as a priest in the 8 divisions. You have to count 8 times 15 days equals 120 days or 4 months. Then we are at about July 21st. Zechariah returns home after the 15 days of service. It's about August 5th. Elizabeth becomes pregnant. Pregnancy equals about 270 days or about 9 months. Then we are at May 5th. Roundabout, and when Mary becomes pregnant 6 months after Elizabeth. You have to count also the days of the pregnancy, and we are at about November 5th, calculated from August 5th when Elizabeth becomes pregnant, plus the 6 months after that when Mary becomes pregnant, plus 9 months of pregnancy in total. The second point when Jesus is born is about the Emperor Augustus, who issued an order to count the people, to enroll them in the Roman army, and to collect taxes. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. Luke 2:1. Joseph and Mary also made their way from Nazareth to Bethlehem. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth, into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be taxed with Mary his espoused wife, being great with child. Luke 2, 4-5. This command could not have been given in the rainy and snowy winter months from November to February in Jerusalem, as otherwise a safe and speedy journey for all the people could not have been guaranteed. Historians of the Roman Empire also have confirmed that the Romans adopted the existing customs of the occupied and subjugated territories in these regions. This includes the fact that major actions such as the levying of taxes had to take place at times that suited the local inhabitants, as otherwise uprisings would have ensued. The best time for such attacks would have been the fall after the harvest. This is confirmed by historians. The taxation and census according to the decree of Caesar Augustus was carried out according to the Jewish method. It was Jewish custom to carry out such taxation after the harvest in the fall. See Unger Descriptionary, page 199-200. In addition, the so-called Saturnalia festival took place from December 30th to 23rd, later even extended to December 30th. This was one of the biggest festivals in the Roman Empire at the time, and its non-observance, for example through taxation of the population by the Romans, at this time would certainly have led to uprisings in the empire. Another point of Jesus' birth is that the Romans allowed the Jews to celebrate their festivals, which included the Spring Festival in the first months, approximately March to April, Pentecost, which was 7 weeks from the Spring Festival, and the Autumn Festival in the 7th month, which was approximately September to October, which includes the 10th day of the 7th month, which is called the Day of Atonement or Yom Kippur, 50th to 21st day of the 7th month, the Feast of Tabernacles, and the 22nd day of the 7th month, Shemini Atzeret, called also Prayer for the Latter Rain. At this time all the Jews made a pilgrimage to Jerusalem, as there were instructions to keep these feasts. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. Leviticus 23, 1-2. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Also on the 10th day of the 7th month there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And ye shall do no work in that same day. For it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before the Lord your God. For whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. Leviticus 23, 26-29. The Feast of Tabernacles began after the end of the harvest. At this time people had money from selling the yield of their fields, and tax collection would have been favorable. At the time of Jesus' birth the inns were also fully booked, and so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. Luke 2, 6-7. The people were already on their way to Jerusalem before the Feast of Tabernacles, and a few days after the feast the inns were still full as they were leaving. This is confirmation that the Romans were taxing the population at this time, which corresponded to around September to October, when Jesus was born. The fourth point, which marks the birth of Jesus, is the shepherds were in the field tending their flocks while Jesus was born. And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, And the glory of the Lord shone around about them, and they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for, behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Saviour, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you, ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. Luke 2:8-12. During the cold time of the year, November to February in Jerusalem, was also the rainy season. During this time the animals were not out in the fields, but were kept in stables. This shows that the birth of Jesus had to take place before this period. The fifth and last point is that Jesus was crucified on the 14th of Nisan, which corresponds to around March to April in spring. Jesus' ministry was about 3.5 years according to the prophecy in Daniel. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Daniel 9:27. Half a week is 3.5 days, and by the application of the a day for a year principle because of prophecy, which we can read in Numbers 14:34, after the number of the days in which he searched the land, even 40 days, each day for a year shall ye bear your iniquities, even 40 years, and ye shall know my breach of promise. And in Ezekiel 4:6, and when thou hast accomplished them, lie again on thy right side, and thou shalt bear the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days. I have appointed thee each day for a year. Because of this prophecy, the 3.5 days in Daniel 9:27 stand for 3.5 years. Also, Jesus was about 30 years old when he began his ministry, and Jesus himself began to be about 30 years of age, being, as was supposed, the son of Joseph, which was the son of Heli. Luke 3:23. This results in the following overview. The crucifixion of Jesus was in spring, between March and April. The beginning of his ministry was 3.5 years earlier, that means in fall, between September and November. That means the birth of Jesus, which was 30 years earlier, was also in fall, between September and November. All these points clearly show that Jesus must have been born in the fall and could not have been born on December 24th or 25th. But why then is this day celebrated, the generally celebrated Christmas? It is historically certain that many ancient cultures, such as the Persians and Indians, worshipped the god Tammuz, or Mitra as the sun god, whose birth was dated on December 25th. These mythological customs were subsequently adopted by the Roman Empire. Emperor Diocletian tried to achieve a connection between paganism and Christianity by mixing the two. Building on his efforts, the Roman Catholic Church celebrated this day on December 25th as the supposed birth of Jesus as early as 336 AD. Also, this is a commemoration of the sun god. This tradition goes hand in hand with the transgression of the first commandment. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Exodus 20:3. To this day it is also celebrated with a Christmas tree, which is a pagan custom. For the customs of the peoples are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold, they fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. Jeremiah 10:3-4. This fulfills what is written in the Bible. This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouths, and honoureth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. Matthew 15:8-9. God still reveals himself today, because that which may be known of God is manifest in them, for God has showed it unto them. Romans 1:19. He does nothing unless he has communicated it beforehand. Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants the prophets. Amos 3:7. So today he chooses a voice from heaven. See that ye refuse not him that speaketh. For if they escaped not who refused him that spake on earth, much more shall not we escape if we turn away from him that speaketh from heaven. Hebrews 12:25. In this way he proclaims further knowledge. This is part of the present truth. Wherefore I will not be negligent to put you always in remembrance of these things, so ye know them, and be established in the present truth. 2 Peter 1:12. So today we can know the true date of the birth of his Son, Jesus Christ. For more information, see the video description. Do you listen to God's voice?